Hello and welcome. Gonna be doing some more WordPress today, just hanging out. It's gonna be a good time. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. Music is maybe a little too pumping. So hard to get it at the right volume level. Just don't want it to be overpowering, you know what I mean? So, okay. Next one. All right. We're gonna pick up where we left off yesterday, working on the Just Case Studies website. It's gonna be a nice little thing we're working on here. Jump in. Let's get going. All right, so kind of picking up where we left off. Let's see where we left off. Here's that home page. I did get a couple notes I sent over, just a quick snap of this above the fold. And got a couple comments back about the verbiage. Again, we're kind of still in the design phase, so verbiage isn't something we're really looking at too terribly deeply right now. We're just trying to get the function, the form of the site done. So there's not a lot that we're gonna actually probably worry about with the text, so to speak. We're just going to do more layout stuff. But in order to just kind of make the customer happy, we are going to make a little bit of a tweak. There was a concern that the sub line was a little too small. 16 point is about the smallest I would go on a website for font size. Just for readability. It's a good standard to just hold. Like, don't go smaller than 16 pixels as a font size. It gets crowded. But they wanted a little bit bigger, so we're just gonna bump this up to 20 pixels and see how that ends up looking. And then let's take a look at the other comments here. They want a little bit more focused verbiage on who the recipient of this what the value is. Now, here's the thing that people who are outside looking in aren't doing on a regular basis with marketing is they like detail. Okay. A lot of clients think that the details are what sell the product. And the reality is that that's typically not the case. When you're working with new opportunities, new leads coming in the door, they don't want the details. They don't even know what the details are. They're just doing high level shopping. So we want to be as emotional and broad as we can with our initial page layout. As we get into more pages, we can add more detail. But in general, the devil is in the details, right? Like, that's the common phrase, is the devil is in the details, and we don't want to bring the devil out. We only want all the good stuff. So we're going to avoid the devil in the details, and we want to keep it kind of vague. So it did want us to focus a bit more on the target. So we're going to say create powerful data packed case studies to nurture leads. That's pretty specific in my opinion. We're gonna keep it as is for now, and then we're gonna change this. Convert more I mean, we can say convert more leads with business case studies. I mean, that, I guess, is probably a little bit more on the nose. I don't really like it. It's not, I don't like it. We'll have to work on this with the client just because it's not my favorite. That was not good. See. Did that go? Oh well. I think we used futurable, so we want to make some changes on the right. That's what we want. So let's get that done because that's going to change our spacing pretty heftily. Jump into our options section here. And we're going to go down to our typography. And of course, Futura isn't initially available to us. We need to go get that from fonts.b. We're using bold. Make sure our J is the same. That is. All right, so we're going to grab this. We're going to use this font. Add this to the web project. Create a new web project here. Let's just case studies. Activate just all of it. We never know what exactly we, right? All right, so what we gotta do is we gotta take this little piece of code here and we gotta drop this in our header tag. So just pop down here to advanced code fields and right here in the space before the head, that's gonna give our website access to this font set. Um, then we need to actually add the fonts. So the way that you do this in Avada is a little funky. We need to go to our fonts menu, typography, go to custom fonts. We need to look at font name that we want, right? So we wanted Futura bold. We're just going to copy this and drop it in. Save. And then we actually need to reload this page to load that in. Now we should have access to font, which it says it's 400 weight, but it's actually the bold version, so we're good. Now if we reload our home page, we're actually going to get the right font set. So see how it kind of changed our layout a little bit? That's what we were looking for. So I can't believe I lost. I had a little overlay for the bottom of my screen to cover up my bar, and I can't find it. Oh wait, did I find it? Or I'm really bad. This that's what I did. I'm just an idiot. That's what it comes down to. Just a full-blown idiot. But that's okay. There we go. All right, there. Now you don't have to look at my bar at the bottom. um we need to bump my overlay up just above it. All right. Easy peasy. Okay. Back to the mission at hand, which is the website. So let's just, well, sometimes when I don't know what to do, I just like do a quick search. Create case studies. Case study creator. That's not really what we want. Yeah, none of this is really. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. We're gonna have to A/B test this anyways. Create case studies that convert more leads. Lead your industry with compelling I don't know. We're just throwing some stuff at the wall here as far as verbiage goes. Again, it's not really what we want to focus on right now. We really just want to be focusing on the layout, but I'm getting stuck, and now I'm annoyed with myself. Did upsize this. I don't like too much spacing. 24. Oof, good one. Oh, I just misspelled. All right, maybe that's enough. We gotta move on. Getting hung up here. Okay, I actually got an idea. Let's see. Let's do this. We're gonna go with our title element here. We want to do a highlight, so I'm gonna copy this because I don't want to lose it. We're gonna hit a highlight, and then we're gonna double underline. Okay. That's fine. Before text, highlighted text, after text. There is no after text. We want convert more leads to be our highlighted moment. Okay. And then what's our design here? Alignment left, H1, yep. That we're gonna go 72 px, I believe, was what we had originally. Font color is gonna be white. Animated text font color is going to be also white. And the highlight color is, that's what we want everything to be up. Save, update. Let's see how this looks. This might actually be enough. That's pretty good. I kind of, can we delay the animation? Kind of fires right away. It is what it is. Like, I don't know if we can slow it down. So, that might be enough. Convert more leads. Like, that calls it out to us really heavily, right? We do have 2 pieces of orange on this page right already, right? So maybe a third piece of orange is a little distracting. Maybe we need to adjust this. Let's go with a circle, and we actually want our color to be kind of like, sometimes red is a powerful color, man, I'll tell you. You do something crazy and convert more leads. I just hate how it covers up the C a little bit. Dang. I like the circle though. What is double? I don't know. I don't know what some of these transitions are, so like let's just kind of play around with them for a second. Ew. Bad. It's curly. I don't really want something called curly on my site, but doink. Actually not awful. It's really eye-catching. Underline zigzag. I think I know what this is, but take a look. Ooh. This one I like. This one I like. I think we're gonna stick with this one. Awesome. Yeah, I like this. I like this option. Cool. All right, we're gonna stick with this. We're gonna keep that red. Really pops. Really pops it. Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to think of what's the next step here. What's the next thing that, like, if they don't buy from this, what do they need to know next? So create case studies that build trust and convert more leads. Why am I yawning? I need coffee. Ah, that's what it is, coffee. Sweet, delicious nectar coffee. All right. So what would they need to know next? And there's not a right or wrong answer here, but this is how we play the game. I call it getting off the bus, right? Everybody has a stop that they want to get off at. We got to make sure we provide them with the stop. Okay, we got to take the bus to the right place. So, if we're trying to do that, create case studies that build trust, convert more leads. Okay, well, maybe I don't know what a case study is. So maybe we need to answer that. So instead of why case studies, maybe what is a case study? Which would lead great into a sample section. So let's do that. So we're gonna scroll down and I'm gonna keep the original mobile and we'll A/B test it a little bit. All right, so what are case studies? Okay. Um, so let's talk about that. What is a case study? Let's ask the internet. What is a case study? Because whatever comes up here is going to be what Google thinks is the best answer to this. Okay. And now, okay, so this is interesting. Check this out. Okay. This is a little SEO craziness if you're really getting into it. Whenever you ask Google a question, it's going to try and answer the question on Google. It wants to answer it for you right then and right there. And that is called a schema. Okay. And you can look down here and say, these are schema answers. Okay. But we don't have an automatic schema answer. So what this tells me is if we make a page called what is a case study and we answer that really well and we set it up as a schema, we could actually be the #1 result for this, which if we pop over to our SEO tool and we grab this, copy, keyword overview, search, this gets searched almost 10,000 times a month. What is a case study? How is no one buying on this? I mean, Wikipedia is the 3rd result. That means like there's no answer to this. What is a case study? There is so much value in what we just found here. I mean, I can't express it enough. I know it sounds super dumb and lame, but like, I mean, yeah, we have a high keyword difficulty. But geez, I mean, if we can get a piece of this action, whew, whew, we can do this. This is doable. We need to make a page called "What is a Case Study?" That's all it comes down to. Okay, so what is a case study? So let's look at what the answer was, right? Because we actually pulled it up and then we never picked one. All right, so here's the #1 result for what is a case study. Case study is a research methodology typically seen in social and life sciences. There is no one definition of a case study research. However, very simply, a case study can be defined as an intensive study about a person, a group, or of people or a unit, which is aimed to generalize over several units. Case study has also been described as an intensive systematic investigation of a single individual, group, community, or some other unit in which the researcher examines in-depth data. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is great. This is great. We can use this. So what is a case study? Let's try and boil this down to something catchy. So a case study is basically it is a research pull that back up. Okay, so let's see. It's a intensive study. It is a case study is a it's an investigative document focused on extrapolative data. We can't say that. That's way too complicated. Um, it's a presentation. Let's go with presentation. I like that word. People know what presentations are. Um, so I originally had something here like track record driven sales. Is that is a consumable sentence by people who don't really, speak fancy. Because that's the key. We need to keep this at about like a 5th to 8th grade reading level. So you don't want to make it too complicated to understand. So what can we say here? Because this is our H3. So we have to answer the question here, right? So this is good SEO design, right? H2 is a question. We have a question mark. H3 is going to answer it. What are case studies? They are shoot, this is tough. Documents. Document, it's presentation. I like presentation. A data focused. No. Trend? We use the word trend. A presentation on performance on a specific event. Let's see. Is this our... Oh, this is an H6. Bag it. Can we make this an H3? Before I do that, I want to grab font size here. This is a 19 Lotto. Okay, I'm okay with that. Let's make this our H3. Make this just a div. Right? Let's grab the details. 36. 36 font. 36 pixels. All caps. Save. How about this? Ooh, project analysis provides project analysis provides success projections. That might not be a great sentence, but it's just a tagline, or it's like a little byline. This is actually going to be our answer. Case studies are analytic presentations focused on success metrics within by creating a simple to understand document. What's up, Streambug? Your name looks like a bot. Streambug123. Whatever, man. Are you a bot? Or are you just hanging out? It's up to you, dude. You choose. Become self-aware if you're a bot. That's the most important thing. Creating simple to understand. Trying to make a more efficient process for off-screen rendering in Scratch. I've got a few ideas. So I'm not going to be the guy that can help you with that. I know about 7 lines of PHP code. And that's about the extent of my code knowledge. I am a web dev guy, so, or not even web dev, web design is more my sweet spot. But yeah, thanks for checking in. If you need a website, this is the place to be because I can help you with that. So we're just writing some copy. I don't know how to code either, man. I'm just writing some copy for a new client. Hey, that's how we all start. You gotta just dive in. That's super important, man. Get in there and do it. That's how I got started. Now I've been doing this for 10 years. So like, happens. Why don't use Wix? Oh God, are we gonna fight? This is how this is gonna go today. You woke up and chose violence. Creating simple to creating simple yet what's the word we're looking for? Simple yet robust. I don't like the word robust. Weird. Simple yet comprehensive. I like comprehensive. Do you ever need a freelance full stack dev? It happens from time to time. From time to time, I do need some kind of dev. What's up, Liquidor? Liquidor. Almost said liquidator. Liquidor. It's cool. I like that actually. By creating simple yet, oh, I'm gonna freaking bump my desk. It's gonna go to standing mode. Okay, Google, turn off my desk.
All right, office desk.
See, sometimes you just gotta tell it. Oh, thanks for joining us, Streambug. You are a wizard. So by creating simple yet comprehensive, I had a word, didn't I? Comprehensive. what was the word they used back here in this study? Um, investigation. I like that word actually. Case studies are written analytic investigations focused on success metrics by creating simple yet comprehensive uh, presentations. Your potential. I can't type today. Your potential clients uh, build trust and positive expectations for their projects. Something like that. I mean, this is at least a starting point. We're gonna absolutely myrtlate that later. You know what I mean, and improve it. All right. So this is like a. How do I talk about this? So we have this giant block of text here. We're gonna actually leave it for now because we're not really supposed to be working on copy. We're doing high level outlining here. So I'm gonna leave this as is. We're gonna hit update and let's review our page. I don't necessarily like this image anymore because we changed the idea of this section and we made it too big now. We've got too big of a block because of the size of this text. I do like how this is shaping up. We'll add a little bit more here, but we've got to reduce some of our sizing here. So let's pull that down a bit. We're going to go in here and we originally had this as an H3, but we wanted to put this back to 19. So that should help us a little bit. We don't necessarily need this H2 to be so large. What size are we running here? This is going to be 110 pixels. Why the hell have I got this set so big? I don't like that. Let's go down to 72 pixels. It's just obnoxious. This is 36 pixels in this div. Let's see where we are at now. Our case studies. Okay, all right. I like that much better. We've got a little bit of a line break here, just due to the sizing that we left on there. So let's fix that. Here, we're going to do line height of 1 EM. That's going to be the standard font height. That actually might be a problem when we take a look at it here in a second, but let's see where that leaves us. Okay, no, that's good. That's good. This might actually be too tight. So we may want to add a little bit of padding below our title here, which we're going to do. We're just going to make it super simple. We're going to add, we already got 10. Let's just double this up to 20 pixels of padding below that. And I do want this subtitle to be all caps. So we're going to figure that piece as well. All right. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. We didn't get our all caps though. That's annoying. Did I save it too quickly? So one issue with using Avada for your design system is if you save and you don't wait because it is like a WYSIWYG editor. It doesn't have time to update its internal like copy PHP code that it then uploads to the server, so it doesn't save. And so you can see, did I just goon it again? Probably did. Let's turn on our cache buster. Oh, I just suck. Oh, am I doing this in the wrong spot? I might be. See if that fixes it. Hey, there we go. All right, all caps. So what are case studies? Project analysis provides success projections. I like alliteration. This might be too much though. And I may want to do this in a standout color. I don't know. Do I want to? Not necessarily. Okay, so then we've got this placeholder for our samples section. I've got a couple options already that the client sent me over for samples to use, but we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna keep going down because that's like the next section. So see the samples. Here's some samples of case studies, and now we're into this little section here, which formatting wise really broke when we changed all the colors on the site. So we're gonna have to update this, but we want to look at this and go, what is the next step of the customer journey when they're following down this site? So we had what are case studies? We got to see some samples of case studies. Maybe they want to know about what the steps are in our case study process. Okay, so what's it like to work with? So let's give a high level overview of what that looks like here. So hopping down to that section, here's our. So let's go with the process. And I want to make this big, the process. Double check our design tab. Again, I think we had this at 110, which is just astronomically too large. We dropped it to, I think, 72. Um, so let's do that. And then we have our subline here, the great design matters. So how to create a case study. So this might seem like a weird uh, verbiage, uh, but but it's not. So the reason we're writing it this way is we want to try and make as much of the verbiage on the site about the reader. Okay, if I say how we create a case study, that takes it off of them. It takes it off of the viewer, the reader, and puts it on us. So now they're kind of like watching through a window, and that's not as engaging or involved as actually being a part of the process, right? Right. So this verbiage still keeps them in the game, right? How to create a case study. Now, I want to kind of mimic the thing that we did up here where we did the question and answer. So we're going to go, what is the process? And we're going to put a question mark in here. And then we're going to change this section to a div and give us back our font size. So I think we had it at 32 pixels. Make that all uppercase again. Make sure that our font type is key, is our Futura. Okay, and then we need to answer the question in our H3, which is going to be right here. We're going to change this from an H6 to an H3, but set our font size back to 19 pixels. And we don't actually want to do that. We're going to leave it as is. I think it's going to... We have this as italic, but it's from the text itself, so we just need to make sure we do that again, which we have already. Okay, so then the answer is, what is the process? The case study process is simple. That's important. People like simple. Case study process is simple. When you decide to create a case study, you will follow these 3 simple steps. If you do, your case say we can just leave it there. You'll follow these 3 simple steps. And then we're going to answer those 3 simple steps. I don't necessarily know if I love that verbiage. Again, all of this is subject to change. We're still working on it. Let's take a peeky here. Oh, we need to change some colors here too, because this whole block is wild. And I think what we're going to do, this might be a little too crazy, but we're going to try it. We're actually going to go to the container level, which has no color on it. We're going to add an image to the background. I'm going to use my paper image in the background, which we've already loaded on the page. So if we use the same asset twice, it doesn't have to load it twice. It just uses it twice, which is a fantastic thing if you can manage that. And then we're going to do the same effect that we did up at the top of our screen, which was we added in our paper here, and then we grabbed it and brought it down to 75% opacity. So, or 25% reduced opacity. Does that make sense? And from here, that's going to make our paper a little bit more white. Let's hit update and see what this looks like. I think we have a color in the background of this column that's going to overwrite us. We do. We have to just remove that color from the background of that column, which is right here. We're simply just going to come in here and wipe it out. Save, update, and let's see. All right, that's kind of cool. I like that. We might want to reduce would help if I set the right settings. Going back to our container, we want to go to our background, and while we did set the background color and the image, we failed to set the background blend mode to screen. We want to lighten everything up. And what we're also going to do is we're going to add a parallax effect. Okay, this might look weird. We're going to play with it real quick. But we're just going to see. We're just going to see how this looks. So hit save. And this could be fun. It could just be very distracting too. So we reload. Okay, there we go. See how that's much more in alignment with how our title bar looks? It's got that like just a little bit papery feel. Okay. And we're scrolling and you can see that nothing's happening. Maybe no, it's there. So the paper image in the background is moving, which would move the texture, but it's so subtle you can't really tell. So we're just gonna pull it out because we don't want to waste the extra browser resources on running a parallax. It just doesn't help us. So. All right. We need to change the color of our subtitle here, which is fine. We're going to do that. Jump in here, hit design, and change this to our graphite color. Okay, let's see how we look. All right, looking pretty good. I might want to make this actually pop because how to create a case study is kind of a key element of that block. It makes it really kind of stand out. So instead of our graphite, we're going to use our accent color. Let's see how this looks. Excellent. Look at that. Oh, looks so good. Looks so good. All right. So going down, we've got 3 steps that we're going to involve here in the case study process. Okay. And the 3 steps are step 1, we're going to do this is plan. And then we have research. And then we have craft. Ooh, craft. I always like craft as a word. It feels so much better than the word create. People like to craft things, right? It feels more personalized, if you will. Okay. And now I know that these titles are the wrong colors. They're coming in white, if I remember correctly. Where are we loading that? Where is it loading the white from? Using. We're going to use our graphite. Actually, let's go graphite. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. Looks real good. If you have any questions about WordPress or web dev, web design, or just marketing in general, feel free to shoot them at me. We're just hanging out. We're doing some web creation here. We're going to make this nice little website for one of our clients. But feel free to pop in with the chat and ask whatever you want to ask. Or if you wanted to swap the music up, we can do that too. I tend to try to keep it pretty chill. Um, you know, is what it is. So I'm liking how that turned out. So let's get back down here to this research block, change our color to our dark graphite. Same with our craft block. So we have to make a decision about design here really quick because we've got these thin lines, okay? And the problem with the thin lines is that they don't really fit with our thick, chunky design style. We even have this kind of like thicker line up here that we're using. Oh, it's a nice gun, Streambug. It's a fancy one. Even got a scope on it. Like, um, so do we go with a bulky line design or do we stick with that thin line design? I'm leaning towards bulky because, like, if you look at our logo here, it's also a bulky line. So let's convert those lines to being fatter and see what. So separator width is going to be 130, and this is going to go up to 9, I believe, is the size of the other one. Let's hit save there, and then just do the 1 and see how that looks. Okay, all right, I like it, but it's not rounded on the edges, which is how our other line is. It's rounded, it's like curved on the edges. See if we have the option to do the caps on it. We don't. Shoot. We have another element that we can pop in here instead. I feel like that line was pretty much only line option we have. All right, well, it's time to go on a small adventure. We're gonna look up CSS line rounded caps. I don't know. Rounded cap underline. Yeah, so putting the text on a div and the box shadow. Wow, that's not really fantastic. I don't want to do that. Seems like a little bit too much work. Uh, you just leave it. Let's just leave it and see what happens. I don't know. What's the worst that can happen? With those lines, they get progressively longer as they go down. It's just like a subtle mental waterfall here. Perfect. Yeah, I like how that turned out. I don't need the button in this section, which is actually going to make this section shrink up a bit, which looks really nice. Unless it's set to full. Double check that. It is on auto, so we're good there. Good there. Okay. All right. Where are we at? Let's reload this section. Okay, we're going to need an image for this section that is better. Actually not. It's actually not a bad image, but I'm not going to use the placeholder image. All right, so we got this section here, this preloaded section called skills. I don't know that we need this section. It doesn't really add any value to us. We don't need to prove anything. At least not in this way, the way that this section is laid out. So, maybe we can find some case study statistics. Case study statistics that we can plug in here. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Doing some research on case studies. This is pretty much my job, is you just have to go and learn garbage and then you have to convert it into a website like over and over and over again. This is like the same article. Did they just steal the same article? What role can a case study play? Interesting. There's no like good stats. I mean, that's a good stat. So maybe this section becomes like why a case study. Okay, let's do that. Let's do why use a case study or why create a case. Did we resize these? We did. Also, this is maybe a little too bold. We're going to change that on our way down. We're going to change this from the graphite dark, just graphite. Maybe paper dark? Let's see what paper dark looks like. Almost a little too light here. Do a modifier on it. Paper dark, but we're gonna take this like minus 14. Let's see how this looks. That's a little better. That pops a little bit more. Cool. All right, so we are going to do this section as a why use case studies. We're going to give some stats. Gotta add that question mark. We're gonna make our changes here. 72px. Make sure this is uppercase. And we're gonna make this the H2. That's fantastic. Looks good. Save. Then we're going to take this block, we're going to change this to the div, make the font size 32 pixels, make sure that we're all uppercase, general. So this is like our byline for the question. Why use case studies? How, who, what do we say here? Case studies. What would we go like 5 reasons to have case studies? I don't know. Maybe that's enough. Oh, I forgot to set our font. Even though are easy to create, most businesses do not have one ready to share. Here are 5 statistic driven reasons to have and use multiple case studies in your business. Make it personal. And we just need to make sure we make this H3, take this back to 19 pixels. Italicize, hit save. Let's see how this looks. That's looking pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. 5, like, why use case studies? 5 reasons to have case studies. 5. Now we just need to come up with 5 reasons. All right, so let's come up with our 5 reasons, shall we? I'll probably steal them from this article. 92%. A good one. 92%. Sounds real. Of what do we say? Consumers looking for social proof. Let's see if that even looks good. I don't even know. We're gonna find out. Definitely needs to be all caps. wonder if we can make these little like H4s. I don't know. Will it let me? Won't. We can still fiddle faddle with it. That looks pretty good. Oh, you're a theme developer. What theme do you develop? Yeah, I've been doing WordPress in one form or fashion for about 10 years now. You know, build one for a business and then one of my own, and kind of been on my own ever since, just doing it. It's expanded into a full blown agency. Now we do everything: SEO, social media, pay per click, like whole 9 yards. So, but but yeah, I've gone through so many different themes and plugins and add-ons and stuff. You don't use theme frameworks. You code them from scratch for each client. Use built-in WordPress features. Yeah, I mean, so having been around it long enough, like I could dive in and do work. Like I get the custom framework stuff. Like that's really good. I think people, most website needs do not need the custom dev when there's tools like Avada out here. Um, because you're paying for all the extra effort, right? You're paying for like the PHP knowledge and all of those custom templates in the background, the uploading, then managing them becomes a whole thing because you're kind of trapped to your developer a little bit. Whereas this, you know, because I use Avada, I don't hide it from my clients. They actually kind of appreciate that. I give them full blown training. Oh yeah, and I have nothing against custom designs. I think that they're fantastic in certain scenarios. Like right now, I'm working with a client and a developer on like an LMS, like a learning management system built into their website, and the options out there in WordPress are not super great. They're okay, but it's not exactly what they want or need. So we're working, put that together. Yeah, and exactly. 90% of the people looking for websites are looking to spend less than 10K, and 70 to 80% of their website layout is going to be the same, right? It's going to be homepage, contact page, about us page, service lander, service pages, maybe a portfolio page, maybe a store page, maybe some kind of custom form. That's about it. Like most websites are the same deal. So, oh, see, yeah, you're doing like bigger boy stuff, which is great. In fact, I'm trying to get more into that field. I recently did a project here. I'll show you a site that we just did recently. Uh, ALC.net. So they had a site for years that they they weren't getting good responses on. They had a home split lander where you would come to the page and then click through to like one side or another. And it just was awful. And so we kind of restructured, rebranded it. Um, yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I love the custom stuff. I wish I could do a bit more of it. In fact, in here, I had to write a custom section for this client. Their events section, we had to go in and custom build this section out for how they wanted to use it. And that was a fun experience for me because I try to stay away from the PHP, the code side stuff, if I can avoid it, just because I'm not fast at it. And we had to go in and do it anyways, and it was a good time. So we actually stole a lot of the design theory or functionality from Eventbrite for this. So a lot of similar things that they were doing, we kind of took those ideas and extrapolated on them. So, but we need to give the client, flexibility. So they need to get what they want, which is the advantage of custom code, is because you're not worried about what can my tool do, and then I have to extend it. You just build it the way they want it. So totally different mentality, but I do appreciate it for sure. So all right, so 5 reasons to have case studies. So we need 4 more reasons, if we can come up with 4 more reasons, or otherwise we just reduce the number, right? So let's see. Well, what do we have? Did I close it out? Um, when someone interacts with a review, they're 58% more likely to convert. Can we just say that about a case study? Because case study is effectively an internal review. Ooh, here we go. There's also a bad history of WordPress itself being bloated, slow, vulnerable to third-party updates and integrity. Sometimes it feels good to create a theme site without all the overhead, the speed, accessibility, and more. Lots of the theme frameworks have had a long way to get to where they're at, and some of them are honestly outdated and try to stay relevant. Oh, believe me, I know. I mean, there's still people using Drupal, which is hilarious to me. And WordPress itself can be extremely bloated. It's one of the reasons why I like Avada so much as a theme builder. And here I'll show you real quick. When I'm done with the site, one of the things I have that allows me to keep a good speed is I can go into this builder options section, and I can basically trim up my site for plugins. Or oh yeah, Divi is trash. I hate Divi. And one of my major competitors uses Divi, and we argue about it. We're friendly competitors, but we argue about Divi all the time because it's such a bloat suck. Same with Elementor. I can't stand Elementor. It's not well coded. It's spaghetti code from top to bottom. But Avada here, they actually build in this performance system. So I'm not going to fire it now, but what I can do is I hit this, and it's actually going to tell me what options I'm not using on my site, and will disable those. So to keep my code bloat down as much as possible, which I think is just brilliant. Like I'm not using this stuff. Why would you continue to load it for me? So I'm able to get great page speed scores on my sites, even though I'm still using a theme system. And WYSIWYG builders they have their space. You said you feel dirty about sometimes I add Elementor because the client insists for some of the blocks. And yeah, like it's nice having Legos, right? Legos are great because they all work together and you can quickly click and build them. And at the same time, you're the designer, right? So like I teach my clients how to do it. What happens is once I teach them how to do everything, they ask me to do it all, because they realize that it's more effective for them to just let me do it than to have them do it. Um, but letting them have some ability, some control is sometimes valuable to them. So you have to do what they want and sacrifice success sometimes. Um, One thing I've learned running my own business for many moons now is that project success is not defined by me. I don't decide if the project was successful or not. The client does. And sometimes that means that I have to build something I disagree with. it hurts. It hurts sometimes because I don't like building bad stuff. I don't like building, you know, non-responsive or underperforming or, you know, generally just unprofessional stuff. But sometimes they want it and they're going to get it because they're paying for it. I don't define the success of the project, they do. So, I'm trying to think of an exact example, like one I could show here on stream where the client wanted something and I did not. Oh, I'll give you one. This isn't, I don't have a specific example here, but clients all the time, they have a physical location. They want a Google map on their site that they can like drag around and move and, you know, whatever. Not efficient. It is much more efficient for us to take a screenshot or an image of the map with the pin on it and load the image and then make it a hyperlink to Google Maps, right? Like that's a much more efficient and effective design. But they want to have the bloat. They want to have that movable little map. And yeah, it's not a huge issue, right? But it's still less efficient because then we got to set up, you know, Maps APIs and all kinds of stuff that they don't need, and it's bloat. So it's a tricky world to live in when you're project based. That's why when I'm scoping my clients, yeah, loads faster, scales better, and doesn't battle with GDPR. Exactly. Like, but they don't understand, right? So I specialize actually in landscapers. That's kind of my niche market. I do all different kinds of companies. Obviously, I'm doing this case studies one for a buddy right now. But they barely understand why they need a website. So when you try to explain, you know, load speeds and load waterfalls and tracking codes and image bloat and all lazy loading, like they don't understand it. And that's okay. Like they don't have to. I don't understand a lot of stuff about landscaping, right? They're the specialist in that. Problem, and I did this for a long time as my own business owner. You have to fully embrace the fact that you're not going to know the details, right? You have to fully embrace the fact that you're hiring the professional and they know the details. And at a certain point, you just got to let it go. So it's tough. It's super tough to get people to understand that because it took me a long time to understand it. I'm kind of a smart guy, so like, that's what it is. But I do appreciate the custom dev. It's awesome. I'll tell you, man, I've got so many good ideas. I've built so many websites. If someone could build some kind of plugin, you know, a couple little plugins that would make so much sense. If you want $1 million idea, I'll give you a. Actually, it's probably closer to $1 billion idea at this point. If someone were to make a seed to sell tracker for cannabis dispensary websites for WordPress, you would make so much money. You would make a fortune in licensing. Charge them, you know, $50 a month for the plugin. You'd have to tie it in through AWS and run all, you know, the back end like API calls and stuff like that to the seed to sell programs. But if there was a way to basically what that would enable dispensary sites to pre-sell online, because right now they can't pre-sell, can't reserve, you can't pre-sell, because when you do that, they actually track the seed all the way to the sale as a seed to sell system, right? And so there's no tie-ins with those common systems. There's like 4 or 5 big seed to sell programs, that are out there, and there's no WordPress plugin that manages that at all. So you can't pre-sell. You have to build a custom site to handle that call. So I think that if somebody developed that plugin, they'd make a freaking killing. Anywho, enough distraction. Get back to work. So where were we? Yes, we're coming up with 5 reasons to have a case study, and we're going to steal this data point here. 58% more likely to convert. More likely to convert after reading a case study. We're just going to kind of lie and call it a day, because we can do that. Come in here and go to Futura. Capitals. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. All right. Next up, we need another stat. I just need the stats. Where are the stats? All right, I like that. Do that 90% one. We're actually going to flip those. Is this the exact same article I already had open? Oh, here we go. Neil Patel, what a classic. You did it. What did you do? You can't just say I did it and then leave us all hanging. I hate the way he writes his articles. Ugh. It's good, but I just hate it. 11% increase in warm leads. Yeah, we can do that. In organic leads works for me. I managed to make a more efficient way of rendering off-screen objects in Scratch. Oh, so is Scratch some kind of code language that I don't know about, I'm assuming? Sounds fancy. I once took a class on what was it called? React. And my brain broke, and I could not do it. And that was, that was a sad time for my brain. Dude. That's pretty good. That's a good stat right there. 56% of enterprise consumers say that case studies, success stories, weighed in on their decision making process. That's pretty good. How did he word this? Lead gen. That's a really bad sentence, but we're going to go ahead and leave it. Scratch.mit.edu, anyone can scratch. It just takes 5 seconds. See, okay, all right. What are you doing with it? What are you trying to do with Scratch? Are you making a game? Are you designing some kind of movie in 3D space? What are you doing with it? You gotta have an objective, right? I'm trying to make a game with it, a factory game, like where you manage a factory and you produce something. That is that the goal of the game? Oh, I need to add my dash on that first one. Must have not added it when I wrote it. I don't like this little section here. We're just gonna Murder it. Bye bye. Bye bye. Then we're gonna take this button. We're gonna make like study map. Just gonna leave the link for now. We don't really care that much about the links yet because we don't have all the pages built. Like, we want to get the stinking icon out of here. Zoom. All right, well, we need some space. Let's take a look at how much space we've got underneath this guy. See, that's 31 pixels and another 30, so 60 total pixels. Great. Add 60 pixels on top of the button. Call it a day. Boom, look at that. Love it. Bing. All right, we do have this clients section, okay? And I think we're going to go back to this lighter background, so let's steal this. I do like it. It's color 7. Wait a second. That's not right. And lighten it by 75. Okay, whatever. Seems dumb to me to do it that way. Whatever, man. I just work here. All right, let's hit that update button. And of course, the column has its own background color because it's dumb. Stupid column specific background color. Die. We're gonna go with the classic who we serve. Let's do our typical drop down on that 72 pixels. And I think to match the block up top, we need to make this spec. And then this is graphite. Success-driven businesses. Doesn't that sound so fancy? Every business has a success story. Turn that success story into your greatest sales asset with a case study. Below are some of the fantastic businesses success into sales. Jeez, I cannot type today. Stupid dumb fingers today, man. I tell you what. Ooh, that felt good. Ah, shoot, forgot to set the font. Okay. We need a block in here that breaks this up. We're gonna have to put in some kind of ordering something here at some point. But what? And how? Ugh. Coffee. Inject. Inject that coffee. Hmm. Oh, look at all the spam I'm getting in my email today. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spam email. Oh, wait. 12, 13 spam emails. It's a good day. It's a good day to be alive. All right. Let's see. We need a way to order your case study. So we need to add a section in here that does that. Do we break our flow on the desktop here? I feel like right here would be a good spot for it. Maybe if we do like a full orange block, like really just disrupt the whole page, that will be jarring enough to get people to move. So let's see, what are case studies, recent projects? Okay, right here. So we're going to add a container below this one. We're going to go 1, 1. And we don't even have Gravity Forms installed yet. We need a new plugin. We need to grab our Gravity Forms plugin. So let's do that. We're going to navigate away for a second. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Thanks, hover effects. Load, choose. Let's see, we've got plugins, gravity forms. Nothing today. Dollars and cents. All right, so we're just going to call this the order form because why not? So in the order form, we're going to need a couple things. We're going to need let's do this. Let's start with an email. Okay, and then we're going to add some pagination in here so that the form doesn't look so big and scary. We're just going to do email. And we could be cheeky here. We could be cheeky and take the email information and save it. We want to do a partial complete. We could. I'm trying to remember where the partial entries is. Oh, okay. Let's go to add-ons. Wait, no, let's save this. Oh wait, it's not going to let me because I need to put in the second set. Well, we need to add a product at some point, so we'll just do that. Date. Let's go to add-ons. Looking for that partial complete. Partial entry. Here we go. Sweet. Sweet. Enable partial entries. Okay. Let's see, where's the pagination option? 8 steps. I want them to see how many steps it is. All right. That page in here. All this. Company name. We could do this a different way. We don't have to do this through gravity forms. I think Jeff has Calendly. We could bill through Calendly. So they have to schedule the meeting. Or we can send them, we can bill them and then send them the meeting scheduler. It's a tough one. Tough one to decide. Let's do it our way first, and then we'll do it the other way later. Okay. Company name. And then we're going to add a little paragraph. We're going to go tell us about the case study. Actually, we probably don't even need that. That's probably too much. We don't want to make the form too bloated because people will walk away if there's too much information that they need to give us. Email, company name. Do we take a phone number here too? Contact name be required. Company name required. Phone number. Contact. Phone number required. Let's do company website /info page. Then we'll do another page break and we'll do customer name required and contact, like that. Okay, so here's the cheekiest bit, right? We're gonna put the pricing reveal at the end. I mean, we've gotten all this information, right? So we're gonna put the actual pricing here towards the end. Case study. And we're gonna call this the done for you study. Meaning that they don't have to do a dang thing. We do it for them. Done for you case study. It's a single product. The price, I believe, is $1,500. We're going to disable the quantity field. All right. And then we're going to do an add-on. Video case study add-on. We're going to make it a checkbox. I don't know what this is going to run, but let's just call it $1,000. That looks pretty decent. So now what do we need? We just need the total. Oh, wait. Okay. We don't have a checkout menu yet, but we can preview this form. You know, punch in the information. Next. Name. Whatever. Info. Next. Wink. All right. That looks good. And then what we do is after that, we redirect it to the scheduler for the kickoff meeting. All right, cool. So we've got a form now. Let's go back to our home page. We can plug this sucker in. So break, here it is. Just gonna do a gravity form. Nope, nope. And yes, we want it Ajaxed. Ajax means that the page doesn't reload every time you hit the submit button, so that they can stay on the page. It looks seamless. All right. Is there, let's go ahead and make this background. Use our paper again, why not? Our spacing is going to be bad, but that's okay. Whoa, that is not at all what we wanted. Ugh. Ugh. center align this block, squeeze it in a bit. Feels good. I am dumb. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do what? There's lots of things I don't know how to do. I'm not in love. I'm not in love with the paper background. Not working. Not working for me. Schedule's too complicated, scares people. Need to say start. About the form to start. Okay, alright, I like where we're going here. We have a little bit of a problem with our button, but that's okay, we can fix that. Spacing's a little off too, but that's because these gravity forms have so much flippin' padding at the bottom of them, it's nuts. See, like right there, 50 margin on the bottom, plus more. 50 plus 20 is probably 70. See, that looks better. That looks better. You just need to grab this button. Go. I'm gonna grab the selector here. And we're gonna add some CSS. I made this, if that counts as something. Let's take a look. Oh, hold on, I copied something. I don't want to lose that. Well, we've got squares. Oh, WASD. Ah, okay. Interesting. Is there a reason why vertical moves two? Oh wait, it's 2 steps in every direction. Never mind. I have to admit, the 2 steps in a direction seems a little confusing. Yes, they turned green. I don't know if that's a thing. But they did turn green. Try this, I fixed it. Ooh, that's nice and smooth. There you go. That makes a lot more sense. Are you gonna pin the character to... Oh wait, no, it's a factory game. I was like thinking that you'd pin the character to the center and actually move the map around them. That's kind of wild. Now you have to have it so that the unit stays rendered even as it moves off the edge. Because the moment it clips off the edge, it's unrendering the object. It needs to stay rendered while it's in the viewport. Look at the code. Dude, that's like asking... I mean, you're asking me to look at something that I I will know nothing. This means nothing to me. Oh golly. I mean, I appreciate what you're doing, but wow. Yeah. This is more than my brain can handle. See, I turn buttons black. That's what I do. Has an orange border, doesn't it? Well, that's good enough for now. Scratch can't fucking put objects off screen. Well, let's see. Can we trick it? Can you... What could you do? How could you mathematically trick it into letting it stay on as it moves off the screen? Could you set the anchor point for the object to be like off towards the center point? So like, hold on. I'm an idiot. So if this makes no sense, like, that's fine. Okay. Could you make it so that the box's anchor point is always like 2 units closer to the center of the screen than the actual unit? That's like a lot of math, right? Because you have to have it calculate the center of the screen. But then it would, your anchor point for rendering would be on the screen even though the unit would be off the screen. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, all right. Well, this page is certainly shaping up. I almost feel like this needs to be a bullet point section. What if we kill this and bring in checklist section and go provide social proof. Okay. And then do we have like a checkbox or a check mark? Wish we had one with like a pencil on it. That would be really cool. Let's do the block. So like provide social proof. Demonstrate expertise. Set project expectations. Build trust. Build consumer trust. And convert more leads. anchor points don't exist. So the moment the sprite hits the edge, it's just de-rendering it. How about this? Can you why not just add a 1 unit border around the edge of the screen? And that hides the detransition. I know that's like super lame and like totally scuzzy, but if you added just a 1 unit border, like a white border around the edge, it would smoothly scroll off the screen and then de-render. Yeah, I like where this is going, but it needs to be cross, I think. I'm gonna do nested columns. 3 nested columns. Then we're going to copy this. Um, uh, no, I'm saying like go back to the way you had it, but then just put a like a white border around the edge. That's 1 unit width, right? So that looks like the floor, but it's actually above. So when the cube passes under the white border, you don't see it de-render. If that makes sense. Okay, so here I'll show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, all right, so you have your rendered floor, right? And then you create your cubes, right? I'm gonna make mine red because I just did. All right, so you got your cube grid, right? So what happens is when this touches the edge, boink, 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 it de-renders the whole cube, right? Because it's a single unit. So instead of making your edge appear here, what you do is you create a border wall, make this green. You create a border wall, so as the cube slides under the border wall, it's gonna appear to vanish smoothly until it hits and de-renders, right? You just make this not green, you make it white so it looks like the floor, right? And that way you're visually rendering it smoothly, but as soon as it hits that outer edge, it pops out the square. That makes sense? I don't know if it does make sense actually. That's what I'd like to see right there. Boom! That's how that works out. That looks good. Way better than some bloaty text section. Provide social proof, demonstrate expertise, set project expectations, build consumer trust, engage in discussion, convert more leads. Yes, like that. So engaging, so much more energy. Do we get text control over this? Of course we do not. Of course we don't. Is it in here? No, of course it isn't. Let's check the defaults and see if it lets us do some text control in the defaults. So this is a checklist. No, it doesn't give us control over the font. Oh, piece of garbage. I gotta do this the hard way. Where are we loading the font? Style from. Sure, BT bold. Oh, that's stupid. That's not what I wanted. That's what. Yeah. I probably need to update some of these images. This section is who we serve section. I'm not going to do a right aligned image. I think I'm going to break that up. Uh-oh, which block did we change? Make sure to flip that back. All right, like this. Can I just reload that same? Okay, see, there you go. So now you've got an edge on it, right? So it doesn't look like they're de-rendering. Oh, it's so cheesy, but it works. Like, it looks so much better now. It's brilliant. Like, that's exactly what it was needed, right? You just needed that little overlay to trick the player into thinking that everything's rendered off the edge of the screen. Perfect. Well done. Come on. So what's up with the conveyors? What are you doing with that? Okay, all right. Let's see. How would I, if I knew how to code, right? Like I can think of this from a design perspective because, um, actually, I do board game design on the side. That's kind of my like hobby thing. So let's see. If you have a conveyor, how do items know which way to go? So how would I code that? I would say on collision move unit, like you just add, right? So when the unit collides with conveyor unit, move the original unit um by plus spaces or whatever. I don't know how your spacing is built, but you just hard code the conveyor to have an additive or subtractive. Well, it's just an XY. It's an XY addition or subtraction, right? So if you want it to go left, you subtract X. If you want to go up, you need to, add Y, whatever it is. Um, so you just make it so that when collision happens, you add that to the location of the original unit. The conveyor is hard coded to send the item in a specific direction, like X units or whatever. So you just need a separate sprite. You need a sprite that shows what direction the conveyor is coded, with just like a little arrow on top of it. Okay. Okay. But the conveyor does. The conveyor knows what direction it's facing. So can't the conveyor tell the item where to go? No worries. Like, yeah, the conveyor knows what direction it is, so just have the conveyor tell the item, go the hell this way. Oh, the conveyor can't tell the item to do shit? Hmm. Can the item ask the conveyor what direction to go? Can the item query so the item can't query the conveyor? Hmm. That's a tricky one. Well, how does the collision trigger then? If they can't interact, how do you? Okay, yeah. I wouldn't. I don't understand how we can trigger a collision if they don't interact. So I guess the question is, how are you triggering the collision? This pomegranate might. Oh, Liquidor. You're a wizard and a thumping good one-eyed wager. That's so funky. Yeah, see, that's why I don't do game design or video game design, because my brain would just melt. Like I was watching there's another Twitch streamer, Promectus. He does like game coding and stuff. He was making a Flappy Bird clone yesterday, and the amount of like insanity that is required to code video games is absolutely terrifying to me. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this is shaping up. A little image here. What else do we got? Okay. Why use case studies? Let's see if we can find an image for that. Business question. She's pleasant. I have a question. Name of the image. I have a question. This is way too much action. Why did we tilt this image? This would have been a much better image, like, straight on. I don't know. It's so silly. Also like this image, so I'm gonna grab this too. Alright, so let's see. Wink, background, image, edit. Just load these two new images we just got. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Much better. Much better overlay. I'm gonna flip flop these. So they don't have any way for the objects to interact? That just seems silly. It's because they are clones. So why not create 4 different types of conveyors? And so why not, yeah, make 4 different conveyors that go in each of the 4 directions and then load those? Then the clone would have a master value, like a global value that you can still call on. Hmm. Yeah, man, I'm not very much help in the old game coding department. All right, let's get this footer fixed because it's annoying me. Annoying me. Jeff. Ugh, I hate this one. Let's see what's going on here. On text messages. Oh, that's great. Apparently, I need to go put chicken in the freezer because whatever we were doing tonight got canceled. So, brilliant. I will be right back. Mm. Okay. Welcome back. Ba-ba-bum. Let's see, what am I missing? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Nope, 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 nope. So many frickin' notifications. And none of them important. Mm. Alright, here we go. A LinkedIn link. Got a Facebook link. Got a YouTube link. We have a Twitter link. Right. And then we need to just edit this text block. Hmm. Just vibing now. Some good music. Some work done. All right, what do we got here? Did I mess it up? It's not loading up for me, man. Oh, well, I mean, sorry. I was just vibing here, but no, it's not loading what you just sent me. I grabbed that URL. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, pretty much. That's the hell am I watching? You've fallen into a pit of despair, my friend. pit of despair. Don't give up. Alright, let's see. Where are these case studies he sent me? Alright, what we're doing is we're taking some PDFs here, and we're going to convert them into images so we can use them on the website. It's pretty mesmerizing, I'm not going to lie. Right. I don't love this, but it's what he's got. We'll help him improve it later. Alright, now that we have some images, we go to the portfolio section. Take a look at this. Alright, so immediately we're just going to trash 3 because we only have 3 to put in the page. So we're just going to kill those 3, and we're going to borrow these other ones. Alright. Alright, there we go. You're gonna... Oh, bathroom. I was thinking like take a bath. Alright, I think I'm gonna head out, but next time we'll catch up and hit me up